Meanwhile, on the legality front, let's get over to David Super. He's a professor of law at Georgetown University. Professor, thanks so much for being with us. First off, this invoking of the Alien Enemies Act, we know that Trump has labeled Tren de Aragua and MS-13 as terrorist organizations, but is that enough?
Not even close. The Enemy Aliens Act is for countries that are at war with us, either a declared war or they've invaded our territory. At best, it's bad poetry to say this is an invasion, but it is not an invasion. It is certainly not an invasion by the Venezuelan government, which is what the law requires.
And what happens when the president just ignores a judge's order here?
The president himself is immune, as the Supreme Court determined last summer. But if government officials take the view that Mr. Holman did, that's contempt of court. When a government official gives orders in his official capacity and says, I don't care what judges say, that's contempt of court.
And contempt of court, if there was enforcement, what would the enforcement look like? Like, which arm of the government, which law enforcement arm of the government would enforce something like this?
Well, the judge would have several choices. There's a wide range of mechanisms available to enforce a court order. One is simply to charge whoever made the decision to disregard his order with criminal contempt. You would then have a trial, a potential conviction, and punishment, which could be fine or jail. The other choice is civil contempt, and you could, the judge could order whoever the judge believes violated and disregarded his orders to pay a fine out of their own pocket for each day that they stay out of compliance with the judge's order.
And back to the due process migrant question. Do migrants have due process protection here in the United States?
They absolutely do. The Supreme Court's been very clear on that time and time again. And what happened to these people is they were simply grabbed up and sent out, as far as we know. They weren't given any chance to even hear charges against them, much less prove that they weren't accurate. Mass roundups in this country have a very bad record. When we rounded up people we thought were Muslims after 9/11, we wrapped up a lot of Mexican and Central American immigrants because they were brown, and that was good enough for the people making the arrests. I fear we're doing the same thing again.
And do you think that there's a possibility that we could see U.S. citizens sent to foreign detention centers under any of this? I mean, the use of the El Salvador detention center also seems to have like a cost-saving aspect to it as well, right?
It does. It's cost-saving, and it's also a way of avoiding court orders. If you simply send people to the land of another country, you can claim that your hands are now tied. Obviously, the administration could have turned the planes around. Obviously, when they landed in San Salvador, they didn't have to push the people off the plane. They chose to violate the court order.
Professor David Super of Georgetown Law, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.